We're learning new details tonight about the city of Wilmington's new budget that will have property owners paying more in taxes.
That new budget and the tax increase takes effect in less than 2 weeks. WECT's Rachel Holly joins us now. Rachel, what does this increase look like for homeowners?
Well, John and Fran, Wilmington property owners are looking at nearly a 5-cent increase on $100 of assessed value. 70% of the increase will go towards police and fire operations, but Wilmington City Manager says money will also go towards debt service funding for capital improvements and infrastructure, such as bridges, road widening, bulkhead projects, and more. They say the money will go towards strengthening the city across the board.
So that 0.41 pennies unlocks over $31 million in additional buying capacity for us to be able to complete the remaining projects that are in our CIP, and that is then repeated over every single year from there.
The budget narrowly passed on a 4-3 vote, with opponents saying any increase in property taxes could hurt people already struggling to make ends meet. Rachel Holly, WECT News.